Welcome, everybody. Hello. All right, 2 pages from the start. That's what we're talking about. Hey, everyone. I am Tish Hicks, and I am the Master Sensei of the V.O Dojo here in Burbank, California. And this is our free monthly webinar information series called Get to Know V.O. Today, we are super excited to start the year off with one of our amazing new team members who has been making an incredible difference with everything going on at the dojo. Um, Sara Blindauer, who also happens to be a manifestation expert. So we are super excited to have everyone join for this day that we're calling the Manifestival, because manifesting is, well, first of all, aligning aligning you with the power and possibility of your voice is our full mission. And the internal training, how we are setting our minds um to create what we envision, is very much a part of how we roll at the dojo. The first rule of the dojo is know what you want, ask for it, people will give it to you if you allow. So we're going to create a riff on that today. We're joined by Kelsey V, who's also part of the dojo team and will be here facilitating this call. We would love to hear who you are, where you are, and Sarah, do you want everyone to say like what a manifestation that they're after in the chat, or you'll guide them?
I mean, yeah, that would be exciting to hear what it is you guys want in 2025, and hopefully we can
Good, good,
help
good.
you have tools to get there.
Yeah, so why don't you guys do that, and then Sarah, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit, and then we will jump in. I'm super excited. I'm super excited. I think we need this more than ever in 2025, seeing what we do want. So, yeah, welcome, Sarah.
Thank you. I'm going to share my screen. I've got a fun little slide prepared. Hi everyone. I am Sara Blindauer. I have been a working actress since I was 4 or 5 professionally, mainly on camera, but transitioning into the voiceover world with the help of the dojo and Tish.
Mm.
In 2007, I discovered the movie The Secret, like many people did, and I felt like it was made just for me. And I was entranced, and I have been studying manifestation and the law of attraction ever since. Um, it's like I've Abraham Hicks, Gabby Bernstein, like I've worked with a lot of coaches, and it's one of my favorite things, and it's something I've actually been teaching my kids. I've got a 4 and 8-year-old, and so we work on gratitude and kindness and appreciation and things that the law of attraction and manifestation, like that it's a part of it so that it's part of their everyday lives. And then not last year, I guess 2 years ago, 2023, I launched a YouTube channel about it. I had had a very bad year. The strikes, both writers and actors strike, caused me to lose my job, that was in the industry. And obviously, we were on strike, so I wasn't working as an actor, and I had a family to feed, and things were not in a good place. And I'm like, well, I need to be in a good place. So let me teach what I know. And so I started it teaching the book, oh my gosh, my head is not The Secret. The I'm completely blanking on the book. It's a Rhonda Byrne book. It's the workbook of The Secret, and it's 28 days challenges of getting in the law of attraction. So I teach that on the YouTube channel, and that kind of changed everything for me, and it helped me manifest my job here at at the dojo, and then other things that have happened recently in my life. And then through all of that, I really wanted, like, I'm so into it, I wanted to have merch that showed my passion for manifestation, and everything that was out there had words that were not appropriate to wear at the elementary school that my kids go to on them. So I started creating my own designs. I'm wearing one of them right now. I don't know if you can see it. So I launched an Etsy shop this month, and I've got more designs coming. And so I'm just really excited about the law of attraction, and I'm excited about teaching it and helping people. So that is a little bit about me. And now we're gonna dive in to some like everyday activities you guys can do to help you manifest the 2025 you want. So the first one, you might have heard of it before, but it's really kind of bringing you to the basics. It's writing a gratitude list. I practice doing 10 things you're grateful for each day. That's what Rhonda Byrne, who wrote The Secret, says to do. And I really resonate with that because if you can't find 10 things you're grateful for each day, in a world where like even taking a breath is something to be grateful for, then you have some more work to do because there are so many things to be grateful for. And this is something that I work with my kids on too, because my son recently got diagnosed with ADHD and he's had a really rough school year. And so we work on what good things happened. What are you happy about? And so he can get down to basics. And we're in Los Angeles, so the fires right now, every night before we eat, we do our gratitude list. And the big thing is that we're all safe, that we still have a home. We had a fire up our street the week of the crazy winds, and luckily it got put out and we didn't get evacuated. And my kids are still saying that they're grateful for that. But when you're doing your list, you write what you're grateful for and why. So it's not I'm grateful for air. I'm grateful for air because it allows me to live. I'm grateful for my home because it keeps a roof over my head. I'm grateful for my dog because she's my comfort during stressful times. So being able to say why you're grateful for it just builds the gratitude in you deeper. And the more grateful you are, the easier it is to receive the things you want. And you're going to feel it when you're saying why you're grateful for it. So this is a really easy thing to do. It can be like I said, it can be for air. It can be for the tree in front of your house. It can be that you have a patch of grass that your dog can go out to in the morning. Like these are all little things that I've done. It can be that I have a 2-inch foam topper on my bed that makes my bed extra soft. Like it can be for something simple like that, or it can be for something big. Like I just received $500 unexpected money today, and I'll get into that one. But I'm super grateful for that. And it can be for something big or it can be for something little. As long as you're noticing the things in life that you're grateful for, that's when you're going to have the feeling of the gratitude in you that's going to allow you to start attracting things. Okay. So this next one is really, really fun. And Kelsey's going to share this check register in the chat for you guys. So this is the Abraham Hicks checkbook game. And so the idea of it is that on day one, you're given $1,000 and you have to spend it. Doesn't matter what you spend it on, but you have to spend it. You can't just keep it there. It can be spent going into a specific savings account, but it cannot just sit there. So, and then day two, you're given $2,000. Day three, $3,000. Day 10, $10,000. Day 100, $100,000 until you get to day 365 and you have $365,000. The great thing about this is it shows you what you would do when you have the money, right? So every time I've done this, I first paid off bills. And then I bought our dream house. And then I bought our dream cars. And then I paid for retirement funds. And then I paid for college funds. But then I won't say I ran out of things to spend money on, but there's so much money. I'm like, oh, charities do I want to help? Who do I want to help today? What do I want to do today? And so you learn what type of person you are through this exercise. The very first time I did this was in 2009, and I booked a national commercial that ran 3 years within 2 months of doing it. Now, I am going to tell you something. I have never made it to day 365. I have made it to day 250. I've never made it to day 365. Uh, but when you do it, you feel so good and you really feel like it's your money. And the other thing about it is that they say you need to be, when you have money come to you, you need to be prepared for it, right? Especially like when we talk about the lottery, a lot of people that win the lottery, they lose their money, they go bankrupt within a couple years, but it's because they're not prepared for it. So when you have money come to you, if you're prepared for it, you know what to do. So doing this, it puts you in the vibrations of already having the money so that when you receive the money, it's not, oh my God, I just got money. What do I do? Let me spend it all. It's, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to handle this. I'm going to handle that. And you're prepared for the feeling of having that money, which is amazing. So this is a really fun thing that you can do, and it's a great way to see what type of person you are also. Like I discovered I am a very giving person. Yes, I took care of me and my family right away, and I did have a lot of shopping trips on Rodeo Drive because I've always wanted to do that. But I also gave so much money to charity. I gave so much money to friends and family. I created scholarships. Like there is so much that I was able to do to help because at the end of the day, I am a helper and I love to help people. And so the checkbook game just like solidified that for me. And it also makes me see why I really need money in my life because it's not just about being like wanting to be rich. Like I want money because I want to help people. And if you have the clear vision of why you want something, it's easier to manifest it. So that is why this activity is a really fun one and it's a really important one.
Yay, the why is so important. I think that goes
Yes.
that goes to so I think why do you want voiceover? At the dojo, we always talk about very validly, why do voiceover? Love and money. They're both okay. And when you have both, you can do anything. So why do you want voiceover? Money is that. Why do you want money? That's a really cool. You can feel the vibration in the room raise, can't you? Just from having like, whoa. Yeah. It's good. Good, good, good.
And it's like if you grew up in a lack mindset, um, or you're judgmental on people that have money, this is a really great way to help overcome that. My in-laws are very judgmental of people that have money, and we have a lot of very wealthy friends that are on my husband's side of friends, and they'd be like, "Well, we can't go to their dinner party because they have that much money." And I'm like, "Oh, please stop. Please don't say these things. Don't let your grandkids hear these things." So it helps you overcome that lack mindset. My husband doesn't have it, which is amazing. But when you have people around you that have it, having something that can help erase that energy is very useful. And this is a fun, easy way to do that. Okay, so this next one, it's called the spotting driftwood. And driftwood is when you have that goal that you want. And a lot of you guys are coming from the dojo. So I'm assuming a lot of you, your goal is to be a working voiceover artist. Like that's the goal. So for you, spotting driftwood might be looking at someone like Tish, who
Mm,
is successful. And the point of driftwood is showing you that because they are in your life, it means you're closer to reaching your goal. It's not someone you should be jealous of. It's something that you should embrace and be excited that you have seen that. My husband and I have a couple in our life that we call our Driftwood. Well, we actually have a couple of couples like that are living the dreams that they want. It might not be in the exact careers, but they're completely happy in the careers they're doing. They've got the family, they've got the house. Like they're our Driftwood. And the fact that they're a part of our inner circle, we celebrate that because it lifts us up and knows it makes us know we're getting closer to our goal. So I know Tish has some Driftwood to share for you guys.
I just wanted to share one of the things that I've done in my life, and my voiceover career. I remember really distinctly, um, kind of like the first year that I was at my first agency. I remember really clearly, writing in my Christmas cards to everyone on my team. Here's to the six-figure year. Here's to 100K next year. And then it happened. And oftentimes and then my career just kept on going like, oh, and then you get a bigger campaign and then it runs for longer. Um, so sometimes sometimes I'll put the number, right? The number of what's possible. And then sometimes as these years kept on getting bigger and better, I also just created a physical visual thing. So sometimes I just say, here, I'll show you. Sometimes I just say, how many file cabinets do you want to fill with pay stubs? So like, yes, last year was 2 folders full. And envision the whole file cabinet filled with pay stubs, and um that has happened, that happens. That happens. Um, so it does help when you're open to it, and then seeing that specific image of what will be the physical manifestation of these things. Oh, well, if I had that much recurring work, then I'd have that many pay stubs. Okay. Cool. Um, yeah.
So you have a lot of people at the dojo. Well, I mean, Tish, definitely. If voiceover is something you want, you always have Driftwood to look at because Tish has done what a lot of us want to be doing in the voiceover world. And so that's a great sign. If she can do it, we're closer to doing it, you know? Okay, so the next one,
And I think the other thing that happens at the dojo is it's not just me. It's really not about me. It's about all of us having success. And as Kelsey just wrote, rising tide lifts all boats. So, when Anderson gets, signed with the top management company in the nation, then we all are like, woo, yeah, let's do it. So that's a lot of the doing it together is
yes.
part of it. Mhm.
Okay, so this is one of my favorite ones. It's ask for a sign. So in 2017, I read a book called E2 Squared, which is seven practical things to test the universe, basically to prove that law of attraction is real. And challenge two is they said to look for butterflies. And I was like, okay, it's February in LA. I'm not going to see butterflies, whatever. So I didn't believe it, but I put it into the universe because I was told to in this book, and I'm someone I follow rules. So
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, I'm going to do the challenge. That day I had to go to Trader Joe's with my then 2-year old. And in Trader Joe's they have, I don't know if you guys are aware, but they've got drawings of animals all over. And I didn't really notice the drawings of animals before I had kids because my kids noticed it. They had this massive display of butterflies. I was like, oh my God. And then that night we get home and I let my son pick out the book he is going to read for the night. And he picks out this book about Denver, Colorado, because it's where my husband's from. And in it is a section about the zoo, and it had a whole page full of butterflies. And I'm like, I lost count of how many butterflies I saw that day. So since then, butterflies has been my sign. And I just did Gabby Bernstein's 21-day manifestation challenge for the start of 2025. And we had a day ask for the sign. She said it can be anything, but just know that the universe doesn't show it to you right away. It means you're not ready to see it. And when you're ready to see it, it's going to show it to you in a big way. So again, I picked the butterflies. I asked the universe. Well, the day this happened was the Wednesday of the LA fires. I can't remember the date of that. I think it was the 9th.
On 8.
Was it the 8th?
Yeah.
Okay. So it happened on January 8th. And I did not see my butterfly. And that's okay because a fire broke out on our street and I had to pack a go bag and we had to figure out if we were evacuating. And that was a lot. So it was okay that I did not see my butterfly that day. I just thought that the universe was opening me up to be ready because of what was happening in my world. So the next day, schools were closed. So both of my kids had no school and they had no childcare. But my husband works at an amazing company, a huge talent agency, and they opened up a kids camp for the kids of employees that were still working. And so my kids went to kids camp, but it ended before his shift ended, so I had to go pick them up. And I go to pick them up, and I'm packing up their activities that they did because they did arts and crafts. And my daughter said, "Mommy, I made something for you." It's butterfly, bright blue, bunch of rhinestones on it. She's 4. She doesn't know about mommy's thing with butterflies. And that was my sign. It came 24 hours later, but it
Mm.
was the sign I needed. It was the answer to the question, and it came at the right time. So sometimes when we're asking for things, we don't receive it right away, and that's okay. It's because you weren't supposed to receive it right away. I not only with the sign, this butterfly, I asked for a job, right? I needed a job, but I was very specific with what I wanted. And I kept interviewing for these jobs and they didn't fit exactly, but I needed a job. So I would take the job and I didn't get them. And I didn't know why I didn't get them. And then random, well, it felt random to me, but Tish called me saying, I have this opening and I think you're right for it. And guys, the job I have here at the dojo is the perfect job. It had everything on the list that I had wanted that I thought I wasn't getting with the other jobs when I was. So it doesn't always come in your time. It comes when it's supposed to come. But if you're looking for the signs, you know it's on its way. So just be open and look for them and figure out what your butterfly is. It doesn't have to be an actual butterfly for you, it just is for me. It can be something else. So that's a really fun one. And it's like, it's something that's happened so recently to me. I definitely wanted to share that one with you guys.
And I love, Sarah, that there's another side of that too, because on this side, I was sending like, here's who we need. We need someone who's this, like it is almost like the signals caught each other because I was also going, whew, okay. They're on their way. I don't know who it is, but and then taking action of like, well, I know someone who it could be. Let's ask. I know someone it could be. Yeah, so that's a really cool image of both the signals coming together.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, because you were putting out what you wanted and needed, and I was putting out what I wanted and needed, and then it all came together. And that happens in the voiceover world too, guys. It's not just in the behind the scenes of it. It's getting clear, getting very clear. And I think that's one of our next slides. Let me, yes, visualization. Okay. So you really need to get clear on what it is that you want. Um, and in I don't know why my brain is, I do know why my brain, I had whatever bug has been going around Los Angeles for 4 days, and today is my first day, like, actually out of bed. So that is why I have brain fog and cannot remember the name of the Rhonda Byrne book.
Mm.
Um, Not The Secret. It's the other one. Um, in it, before you start the practice, she has you write down what it is you want in life. And you could do it for just 2025, but she has the categories in it. And if you watch my YouTube channel, I break it all down for you and tell you what it is. But when you get clear on it, it's easier to do the visualization practices, right? So Tish knew exactly what she was looking for when she wanted someone for the job of director operations. I knew exactly what I was looking for when I was looking for a job. It happened that they were the same. So that worked really, really well. But when you can get very clear on what you want and you're able to visualize it, just seeing it, not how you got it, just seeing it, it's going to change things for you. And I have a very good example of this. So, Christmas 2023, we went to Texas to visit my family. And we came back, and I have an older sister that has three kids that are older than my kids, and she always gives me clothes for my kids. And so we ended up bringing an extra suitcase back that we weren't planning. Um, and I needed a luggage tag for it. So I took the luggage tag off of my carry on and put it on the suitcase we were checking because, of course, my carry on's going to be with me all the time, right? And so in my carry on was all of the cash and the gift cards we were given for Christmas, plus my daughter's talking Elsa doll, plus their elf on the shelf. It also had my purse and my checkbook. Um, and it didn't have my wallet because I was wearing a crossbody bag so that I could have my wallet and the tickets with me and my phone. But it had all of that in it. And my husband was the one loading our car, or the car that was taking us home, and he left it on the curb at LAX. And we didn't discover it till 3 hours later. And I went into a full panic attack, like couldn't stand, couldn't breathe. And then once I got myself together, I grabbed my keys and I drove to LAX. And I could have had a full meltdown, but instead I remembered that I had just done a practice on visualization. So the entire drive from Studio City to LAX, all I did was visualize my bag, which is a 360 roller, being rolled to me, and that's it. It's a pink bag, so it was easy to see it. All I saw was it being rolled to me. I didn't know how it was going to happen. It didn't matter. I just had to get that bag back. So while I'm driving to LAX, my husband's calling LAX police, and they have the bag, or they say they have the bag. And the police call me as I'm driving. They tell me where to park. And as soon as I park and I get there, they call me again. And they're like, "We're sorry, Ms. Beck. We moved the bag to the police station. Now you have to go to the police station." So I had to get back in the car and go to the police station. I get to the LAX police station and I tell them who I am and what I'm there for. And they're like, "Oh, well, it hasn't arrived yet." So I had to wait an hour in the police station. Again, all I'm doing is visualizing the bag being rolled to me because I still don't trust that they have the bag at this point. It's been a whole ordeal. They come, it's three police officers. They come up and they have my pink bag, but they won't give it to me because there's no identification on it. And they're like, "Can you tell us what's in the bag?" And I'm like, "Well, there's money, there's my purse." And then I'm like, "There's an elf on the shelf in the front pocket. There's a talking Elsa doll." And they're like, "Oh, it's her bag." And then they roll it to me at the exact angle that I had been visualizing it. coming back to me. Nothing was missing. All the cash was there. All the gift cards were there. My purse was there. My checkbook was there. Everything was still in the bag. So, visualization is a very powerful thing. And if you're clear on what you want and you spend some time doing it, you can achieve so much. So, that is my testament to the power of visualization. Tish, I'm sure you've had this happen before.
Well, one of my favorite stories, and we'd love to hear your like how what what's worked for you before. And I think even when you're good at that, it's easy to like have moments when you're in the flow with it, and then you forget about it, and then you come back to it. One of my favorite stories of being totally in the flow with this, um, it was it was as I was on my journey to like kind of in that moving to six figures uh journey in my voiceover career, and I was also doing my on camera career, and I started the year saying I I want to be working with high caliber people I really respect on really good projects. And it wasn't until I think the end of the year, because it happened kind of over Christmas. And I saw that this was back when Zodiac was coming out. And I saw oh I and here's the real point of the story. People like Mark Ruffalo. Like I said, I put that out. Like people like Mark Ruffalo. And I saw in the course of the year that Zodiac was happening, um, that it was with David Fincher, and I knew that my acting teacher knew his casting director really well. And I knew that my acting teacher said, I love you and I support you, and never ever ask me for anything like that. And so I did. Um, and he did refer me to Lorraine Mayfield, who's David Fincher's casting director, and I got an audition. And I didn't get the part that I went out for, um, but I did get a part. And so I was on set, I was heading towards set, and I had no idea exactly who the people in the cast were, but I get to the set and my scene is with Mark Ruffalo. Now it got cut. I forgot to ask for it to stay in the scene to stay in the movie, but
Yep.
but it was there. Like I showed up and there it was. So I do think that it, it makes things possible. Like when you see it as possible in your mind, then it's possible in the universe. We're like, oh yeah, like that's gonna happen. How am I
Yep.
gonna be that person? Then the universe is like, oh, you don't want it? Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah.
So a lot of people say, I'll believe it when I see it.
Mm-hmm.
But you really have to uh, believe it so that you see it.
Mm.
Because if you don't believe it, it's not going to happen. We're very conscious of language in our house, especially around money. And I spent a year unemployed, so that my kids have picked up on it. But we have to talk about it in a positive way, because if you talk about it, like debt, for example, right? The more you talk about debt, I'm in debt, I'm in debt, I'm paying off my debt, I'm paying off my debt, whatever, you're attracting more debt. So we say we're creating financial freedom, right? I don't use the D word. I'm creating financial freedom when I'm paying my bills. And when I pay my bills, I'm thankful for whatever that bill paid for in my life, so that I can create the positive energy around it, so that it like so that I can believe that the life I want to live is coming. Right? So we always watch the language and get very specific about things, because if you just say I have another example. I in 2017, I worked at a job, and we were playing the lottery, and I was not happy at the job. It had changed since I had had my son. I wasn't being treated the same, and I knew I needed to get out because it wasn't good for my mental health, and it wasn't good for my physical health either. And I wanted a new job, but I hadn't found a new job yet. And so we were playing the lottery. It was a big, huge Powerball, whatever. And I said, well, when we win the lottery, I'm going to quit my job, but I'm not going to quit right away. I'm going to give it time because I need to clean out my office first, and I want to make sure I'm all good before I let them know I'm not going to be here anymore. Well, we didn't win the lottery, and I ended up getting let go at the end of that week. Um, so wasn't there much more because I wasn't specific. All the universe heard was, I don't want that job anymore. It didn't hear, I need to have the money first before I can make that happen. It heard the energy of, I don't want that job anymore, because that was the biggest energy that was coming off of me. So now I try to be very specific with the things that I say and that I visualize happening. So I visualize winning the lottery first before I visualize leaving a job.
Sarah,
So, yes.
I have a story to share if you want to hear it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I made a vision board. That part of the vision board was like I wanted a loving relationship, someone who was my equal. I put all these quotes on it, and I actually put specific physical traits on it. So I kept seeing their eyes and their hair, and I kept on seeing 222 everywhere, like in movies, you know, streets, randomly in stickers. I was so annoyed because it's like, what the hell does that even mean? And then randomly my friends were like, "Oh, we have a free ticket to the Ren Fair. Do you want to go with us?" And I ended up meeting someone there, and we did like this dance together. And after we did the dance, the guy was like, "Oh yeah, that was a courtship dance, by the way." Um, and then we're getting to know each other and we're talking about birthdays, and I'm like, "Oh, when's your birthday?" They're like, "Oh, February 22nd." And then they actually had like they have the traits that I put on my board, like the same eye color, same hair color, and they've said things to me like that I wrote on the board, like quotes that I put on the board. They have never seen this board before. It's on my iPad. Like you feel like home and like things like that. It's like, oh shit. But all the other years I did it and I wasn't specific, I didn't get anything like that. I got bleh, you know what I mean? I just got jumbled up, whatever,
Yeah.
because that's my vision wasn't clear, my map wasn't clear. So,
Yeah. This might be one of the exercises that we do at the dojo is a thing that I call the Universe Cafe. And it
Mhm.
kind of has to do with what Kelsey just shared. But the Universe Cafe, some of you have done Universe Cafe. But basically imagine that you're at a restaurant that has infinite menu. Anything you can imagine, anything that you can imagine. Um, can be brought to you at this cafe. And I always imagine that there's a wait person who's seen it all and is like, all right, what can I get for you, honey? And you have to say really specifically what you want, or you can't get your order. I want to make a lot of money. All right. Does that mean $6? Does that mean $100,000? Does that mean $400 million? What does that mean? You think about that. I'll be right back when you're ready with your order. Do you want fries with that? Like what exactly do you want? Try it and see what happens. But if you think of it like the universe can't get you what you want if you don't say exactly what it is.
Yes.
I can't bring it to you. It's all here, but I can't bring it to you unless you say what it is that you want. Or some
Yep.
soup. I'll have some soup. Okay, here's soup. I hate I hate tomato soup. Like, oh, well, you didn't say. So, yeah. Anyhow,
That's so
that's another
true.
good we call it the universe cafe exercise.
I love that.
Yeah.
And guys, the book that I've been referencing is The Magic. It's the 28-day workbook by Rhonda Burns. I'm sorry that my brain blocked it.
Yeah, thanks for filling in those guys. Yeah.
Okay. Another thing you can do daily is use affirmations. And again, get it to align with whatever that goal is for you. So, like, if your goal is to be a working professional voiceover artist in 2025, you always say, I am a working professional voiceover artist. I attract voiceover jobs every day. I get repeat voiceover customers. Like, you say them like they are happening to you right now. Not that I'm going to be, but they are happening right now. So whatever it is you want to attract, you can find, like, you can Google affirmations about, and you can get a whole list. Like, I do a lot with abundance. So I have on my phone, I've got abundant affirmations and a screenshot that I will just go through and say. And in the magic, there's a practice of doing gratitude with every step. But I also do affirmations with every step. So if I'm walking around the house, because I have my Fitbit, so I like to get my steps in, I'll do a different affirmation for each step I'm doing. And it really builds up the positive energy. And especially if you're having a crappy day. I mean, anyone in LA, it's been a really crappy couple of weeks. And so it's easy to get down, and life, I mean, this week can make it easy to get down. So having something positive to bring back your energy is amazing. And just having a list of affirmations that you can do is going to bring your energy back up. And you can find them about anything, and you can write your own. Like, Chat GPT, I know a lot of people are anti-AI, and I get it, but it's a great resource if you know how to use it. You can go into it and say, I want affirmations about being a working voiceover artist. Write me 20, and it will. And you can find the ones you want. And if you don't like the ones you want, you tell it, I don't like that because of this, this, and this. Do this, this, and this. And it'll recalibrate. So it's a great resource when you know how to use it. And getting affirmations is a great way to do that. So that's a fun, easy one that doesn't take a lot of time. And maybe it's something like when you're in traffic, you just recite your affirmations. Um, so I don't like needles, and if I have blood work done, I just recite, I close my eyes and recite affirmations to get through it. So it's something that really helps me, and I know that I'm like doing something positive instead of stressing about the fact there's a needle around. Okay. This is my favorite one. This is my daughter, Sila. She's 4. And in July, my husband got into a car accident that totaled his car, and he's fine, but caused him to get a newer car. And the moment he brought it home, she didn't say, nice car, daddy. She said, now my mommy needs a newer, bigger car. She said it every day, every single day. Every time she got into my car, she said it. Every time. Mommy, you need a newer, bigger car. Well, our plan was not to buy a newer, bigger car for mommy until the end of 2025. But in November, I was in a hit and run, and I'm fine. My kids are fine, but it totaled my car. And we ended up getting more money for my car than we expected. And I got a newer, bigger car. Sila doesn't know that she can't have what she wants all the time. We might tell her, but she doesn't know it. And she also doesn't care. Now she wants a Barbie dream house. And we've told her, What you need to be asking for is for mommy and daddy to buy a house so that you can get your Barbie dream house, because the Barbie dream house doesn't fit in the apartment right now. So we are working on that. She doesn't know that anything wouldn't come to her. Like she just believes because she wants it, she should receive it. And it's not in a spoiled way. It's like when we were born thinking we're going to get what we want and need, right? It's life that has taught us maybe you don't, maybe you shouldn't. And we need to let go of that and really just approach it like a child, like you're going to get the chance on the swing because you want to go on the swing. Like she honestly believes she's going to get, she believed mommy was going to get a newer, bigger car. And I didn't get the how. It was not in like, and I know you're not supposed to think about the how, but that's where I went with it. And I'm like, well, that's not in our vision for 2024. But she was so certain, literally every time we got in my car, she's like, Mommy, you need a newer, bigger car. You're getting a newer, bigger car. And she saw it and she keeps doing this. So if you have something that you want, you need to go into it believing you're going to get it. Because if you don't believe you're going to get it, you're not going to get it. You can want it, but everything's going to be standing in your way if you don't believe it's coming to you. So, if you want something, approach it like my 4-year-old does. Just believe you're going to get it. And if you have those moments of doubt, because we all have them, especially in weeks like the last 3 weeks have been here in Los Angeles, just take a moment, ask yourself, how do I feel? What do I need? And what do I want? And you don't have to answer those questions, but it's going to get you back in alignment with the Abraham Hicks calls it the vortex. It's a big it's a bigger thing than this webinar, but it's going to get you back in alignment so that you're going with the stream instead of against it. And then you can again go back to believing like Sila that you're going to get what you want.
Yeah. One of the vortex is an image that we talk a lot about at the dojo, um, in that in that growth and progression happens sort of in a spiral, but then also that the direction of the energy of of the vortex that you find yourself in has you have you have some control over which way it goes. And when your vortex is going in positive, what is possible, I see it, I see it, so I'll be it until I be it, ways, then the vortex is like a hawk on a thermal, right? You just catch that, you catch that wind, and then you go up and you don't even have to flap your wings. It just happens, and you go higher and you go wider. Um, the other way, a vortex going down, which we also can create, is what a tornado is, and it can destroy everything in its path. So when we have these moments that feel like, recognize, how do we create the direction of our vortex, because our choice of how we're experiencing, or how we're allowing ourselves to experience external things, um even when they are the hardest and crappiest situations, like have happened this week, like, oh my gosh, incomprehensible. But what can you, I guess, give it a positive spin, but there's something more, there's something bigger than a spin, right? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So good images to hold on to. Yeah. Okay.
So those are my my toolbox of activities that you guys can do on a daily basis. There's more, obviously, but I don't want to overwhelm
Mm.
you with things. Doing something is always better than doing nothing. So if you just start with the checkbook game, or if you just start with your gratitude list, you're going to see the shift. And just remember that you have to believe it before you see it. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's another dojo saying, we don't say fake it till you make it, be it till you see it, is really what we do, because nothing fake. We don't want to fake anything. Yeah. Yeah. Um, this is fantastic. So let's see. Let's see. We would love, well, what would you like to do next show? I would love to hear like where everybody's at with this, and it would be great
Yeah.
for everyone to leave this session with some tangible things. I know people have said some visions that they're out there, but it would be great to hear like what you're planning to do to move what from what you've received today can you go like, ooh, I'm gonna do this, and it would be great for everyone to have some tangible action out of this. Um,
But before we do that,
yeah. Mm.
so we're almost at the top of the hour. Um, we have a couple of things we want to share with you, and take a cute little picture with
Oh,
everybody.
yeah.
So we have Ask the Sensei with Tom Antonellis coming up. He's such a sweet guy. Um, and he was on Chippendale Rescue Rangers. He's a working full time, and he has such a cool story and endless amount of knowledge. So if you can come, that is
He's also
February.
a accent specialist.
Yes, yeah, he's a dialect coach. So he is definitely, if you're like, I don't know anything about dialects, or I can't do a British accent if I was held at gunpoint, come ask some questions. And then our upcoming fight clubs,
But
we have,
did we say when the sensei is, Kelsey?
Mhm. It's
Oh,
February 5th at 10 a.m.
very good. Thank
And
you.
all the information is in the description.
Hmm.
Description, haha, in the chat.
Hmm.
Um, Upcoming fight clubs, we have ADR with Jessica Blue. She's so just renowned. She's been working with Netflix, Disney, HBO, Hulu, Amazon. She is an English dubbing voice and casting director. She also does the work herself. So she has a super interesting perspective because she knows what it's like to be the actor that's like, damn it, I can't match the lip flaps.
Hmm.
And, also is the one on the other side as well. And then we have video games with Chris Borders, who it would be easier to list the things he hasn't done, to be quite frank with you. He's worked with Microsoft, Disney, Warner Brothers, Cartoon Network. He did the Gears of War franchise, Mass Effect, Dragon Age. I mean, like everything you can think of, basically. Um, and if you are into video games and you're booking and demo repped, we would love to have you um, come and get in the ring.
Yeah, if you don't know what Fight Club is part of our working pro division. So we have our development division and our working pro division. So Fight Club is part of our working pro division. 3 times a month, we bring together top-notch talent with the high caliber decision makers who hire us in all different genres. So we call it a fiercely friendly face-off that turns the audition process transparent. Um, and we have players. So as Kelsey was saying, if you have demo repped and booking, apply to get on the Fight Club roster. And then you can join us as a player, and everyone can be a spectator. It is one of the most valuable opportunities to be watching and learning from both sides of the glass and meeting the people, right? Because when we get down to it, All of our businesses are built on building relationships and knowing the people who are doing the things. So that's the idea of Fight Club, that no matter where you are on your journey, that we're here as a resource consistently throughout the month. Come join us and meet those people and see what's going on. Yeah. And then Launchpad and workout, is that coming up? That we're talking about that too?
Yes, our January one completely sold out, but our next You Should Do Voiceover Launchpad is coming up here on I believe it's the 16th, February 16th. I'll drop a link.
15th is whatever the Saturday is, that second Saturday.
15th, okay.
The 15th.
So,
yeah, 15th. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I believe that's it.
And if you we'd also love to get you, if you want to, we'd love to have you to talk with you more to get a sense of where you're at and where you'd like to be. So feel free to get on my calendar for a voiceover once over call, and we can talk more and kind of see where you're at and where you want to be. So
find your vision.
Yeah, this will be great to take. How can we get, because the whole thing about manifesting and having visions is that you have to trust that you don't know how is out of your hands, but taking action toward is in your hands. Like the Mark Ruffalo story. I didn't just go, I'm just going to run into Mark Ruffalo, which I could have. But when I saw an opportunity of, oh, I see there's a project that he's working on, I do know somebody who knows that. I will take an action. I will ask for something. I will take an action. So taking action toward toward what you're putting out there is an essential part of the journey. So Sara, where do you want to go from here?
Do we want to do any Q&A if anyone has
Yeah.
questions?
Yeah, questions, and would love to have you, maybe we can help someone form their journey, if you have questions about, I'd be interested to hear if anybody is taking this in, because it's really easy to get on these calls and go like, yeah, just think it, yeah. And then you go out and you're like, what the hell? Come on. So it'd be interesting to hear like what's coming up for you as you come to these things. There's and
Oh,
we
and
all
also,
Mhm.
can we get a picture really quick?
Oh yeah.
The replay.
Yeah. If everyone can take a second to jump off so we can see all your beautiful, gorgeous faces. Let's see. Oh, Laurel's here. Oh my gosh, so many great people are here. Yay.
3, 2, 1, manifest.
Yay.
Oh,
Awesome.
there we go. Okay.
Nothing gorgeous here. You're
Sorry
funny.
if you blinked.
You're funny, Regina. Awesome. Awesome. So yeah, what's resonating with you guys? What are you taking away? What are you taking with you? I like that. I like taking with you as better. Like, what are you taking away? What are you taking away from this experience? Like, yeah, what are you taking with you? What's coming through for you? Or any questions about anything that we've said. If you can just like raise your hand and yeah, Eve.
Guys, I'm in a restaurant, so I apologize. No, what it reminds me of how powerful we all are, and how powerful the mind is, and how energetically we can pull things to us. We just have to be intentional about it. And so I'm even before this workshop, I've been working on making sure that I'm doing my meditations and for what I want. So yeah, I love it. Thank you for this. This is great. I read The Secret years ago, and it's like I need to pull that sucker out again.
Well, I mean, manifestation is a lot like being an actor and a voiceover actor. Like you don't stop learning.
right?
right? And if you want to stay fresh on it, like I study it all the time, but that's something that it's one of my passions.
Yeah.
But it was Memo last in September when he has an amazing resume and he's like, I take classes all the time. If I'm going to be good, I got to keep doing it. So like manifestation's kind of like that. If you want to keep learning, you have to, if you want to keep doing well at it, you have to keep learning at it. You can't read one book and be done and think it's all going to come together just like voiceover. So they kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah. Ethan James Lynch, hello, friend. How are you? Good to see you.
I'm doing well. Well, it's very interesting. We were talking about gratitude, just saying 10 things that you're grateful for every day, and that is so, I had similar practices, but just taking it further can only help, I think, just being that mindful can only make you appreciate, especially in our industry, just how lucky we are to be here and working and doing the things that we love and to be working. And I can also say I wanted to say that the Universe Cafe was definitely one of my favorite manifestation tools that I have ever used, and I think it very much worked for me. And
Mm,
I have lots of good things that have happened since doing that with you. So I recommend that one very highly, as well as all these other tools.
yeah. I think there's something about manifestation that I think a lot of us as humans, and it's interesting because there's a paradox, right? We do need to work hard and diligently and clearly with with consistency and continuity and connection and working in community to get to what we need. But what if it didn't have to be hard? Like what if we're working, but it's not hard? What if it's easy because we're in the flow, right? I love this image that Sarah had of flowing with the stream, right? If you're in a kayak, you have to keep on paddling. You got to steer, you've got to keep on navigating whatever comes up. But that's different than having your boat turned around so that you're paddling upstream, that it was really hard, right? So what if what if it could be easy? People say magic. Oh, it's magic. It's just like then magically it happened. But what if the work that you do on your manifestation practice allows for things to magically happen? What if the universe is conspiring for you rather than
Yes.
against you? Which is sometimes like, what? Because it's really easy to go like, God bless it. Ah, why is this happening to me? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, see, that didn't work. Like Sarah, you were like, yeah, I got in a car accident. Like, I think a lot of your stories deal around car accidents. I know
Around car accidents.
that
Yeah.
car accidents to manifest, but luckily you're safe. But like that, you're like, oh wow, the door got ripped off my car. Yay! Um, um, like,
Yeah.
oh, there's a lot of people would be like, what the hell?
Well, I mean, my initial reaction was not in the flow with any of them. It took a moment, but you have to see the bigger picture because I can't hold on to that negative energy. It doesn't serve me well. I can't be in that negative place, for too long. So I have to look at the bigger picture. And my 8-year-old is amazing at it. He can put things in perspective so easily for me. And I'm like, oh, okay, yes, you're right. Mommy is not reacting well. Okay, let me take my moment, see how I am, breathe, and then let's get back in the flow. But on the note of something you just said, there's a law of attraction guru on YouTube named Jake Ducey. He used to have long hair, and so I'd call him like the surfer Jesus of law of attraction, but he's cut his hair, so that doesn't quite work anymore. But he still has these really great messages. And it's probably 2017 when I discovered him. He did this video about what if you treated life like it was a video game. Now, I am not a video game player except for Super Mario Brothers, the first one. So in my mind, and I made it maybe to level 4 max. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, so if all the obstacles I have is jumping on top of the turtle to kill it and down a tube and then I make it through my day, like if I treat my day like it's a video game and I want to win, what am I willing to do to win? Right? So if you treat it like a video game and you know the outcome is you're going to win if you do all the right things, what are those right things? Maybe it's thinking positively. Maybe it's doing an extra, like there are things that we can do to help manifestation along the way, which is a lot of, especially in the voiceover, things that we're learning at the dojo. Like you're learning networking, the fight clubs, like that helps your career, that helps you book work. I've booked so much acting work through events like Fight Club. So like there are things, if you're playing to win the game, what is it that you're going to do each day to make sure you win that level? And each day can be a level. Now, I know there are more like games out there that are more complex and better, but I'm not a gamer, so please forgive me. And my son's into Mario, so that's the most I know. But I spent a week doing that and I'm like, oh, okay. And at the time, I had a job that involved sales. So I made sure I made the sales calls. The sales calls can be like uh, getting the gold coin, where you've got to hit your head on the box to get the coin to come out, but you got to take the time to do it. And so, like, but then you get the coins, and the coins help give you life and whatever the game is. Like, again, sorry, not a gamer, but it is a fun analogy to go through your day, treating it like a game. And if you know you do the right moves, you're going to win. And what
Mhm.
you win is based on what that goal is that you want to manifest.
Mhm. And maybe I'm just riffing now. Now we're just riffing, but maybe, maybe it's like, who are you reaching out to? You being here today is an outreach, right? You being here and connecting and receiving these ideas and these thoughts is you are in connection here. Then what can you do to reach out? What else can you do? Who else can you connect with? Who else can you connect with? Those are the things that you do on the
Yeah.
journey every day. So it's not exactly like, okay, Todd Kogan, good to see you, give me $100,000, right? It's not like I'm talking to you, Todd Kogan, so you can give me $100,000, but it's rather, Todd, how are you? It's so good to see you again. Yay, what's up? And then say what happens. And then we have that. And then, Todd goes Todd goes to somebody else. And but it's about all of the things, the like making it about the relationships that you're building, and then allowing things to come. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Sarah, can I share something?
Please.
Um, so this is kind of to people if you like suffer with depression or something,
Mhm.
or an anxiety disorder or something. Something that really helps, like visualization in athletes who do visualization, proves like basically the neural pathways that they have while they're thinking about how they're going to do their routine is the same neural pathways that get lit up when they do the routine. So my fellow pessimists, um, if you want to, let's say you want to run a marathon, don't think about crossing the line. Think about, damn it, I don't want to be up at 5 a.m., but here I am. I'm putting my shoes on. It's cold as hell outside. Visualize yourself going through the steps to train for the run instead of trying to think of like, this is what it would look like if I went through the finish line. Like every time I go to the gym, I go, I hate this. It's while I'm tying my shoes. I'm like, I hate going to da, 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 da. But guess what? Every time my ass ends up in the gym. Every single time I do that. But if I just go, like, if I try to think of like how this like, really innocuous, like how I want to look, or, it doesn't really work for me. But when I ground it in reality and I'm like, oh, this is what it would look like to do that. And like when I want to record an audition, I think about re-recording the audition a bunch of times, but it makes me do it every time. So that helps me if you have troubles with anxiety or depression or anything like that.
Yeah. Okay, good. What else, guys? What are the questions? What are you taking with you? It'd be great to finish up with. Sometimes we talk about our Dojo O's or what came through to you, like whoa, that made you go, oh, or yeah, so we'd love to know your Dojo O or what actions you want to take with you. Yeah, Todd.
Hey Tish, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good. Sarah, nice to meet you.
Mhm.
You
I
too.
want to talk about your butterflies for a second.
Yes.
So let's say you ask the universe for a sign and it's butterflies, but like 6, 8 months goes by before you see a butterfly. Is that
You're
still
not in the
a sign for
flow.
you?
I've never had to wait more than 24 hours, honestly.
Wow.
So it means you're not in the flow, or that's not the thing you're asking for, isn't something you're supposed to get.
Aha. That's a
Mm,
great answer. Thank you.
Yeah.
So you really need to look at, what am I asking for and why am I not seeing it? And I've got to tell you, this last time, I had a keychain with a butterfly on it, and I purposely got it after the 2017 thing. The freaking butterfly broke off my keychain, and I didn't know, and I thought I'd see the butterfly right away. Didn't see it. So I
Mm,
was not supposed to see it until the next day because I needed to be focused on what was happening around me. But if you're not seeing something within, I mean, I've never gone honestly longer than 24 hours without seeing my sign. If you're not seeing it in like a month, reevaluate what your question is, what it is you're trying to get.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Oh, I wanted to share something that kind of goes with the Silas slide, and that indomitable spirit that we have when we're four. Um, uh, One of the affirmations that I encourage people to explore is to, on a daily basis, say, it is inevitable that I will be making money in voiceover. And then you can keep on adding which adjective that you'd like to put in front of money. It is inevitable that I'll be making some money in voiceover. It is inevitable that I will be making a lot of money. It is inevitable that I will be making incomprehensible amounts of money, avalanches of abundance of money. Like, so you can play around with where, sometimes we need to keep on working on that, what feels comfortable and what feels uncomfortable, what feels possible, what feels impossible. Keep on pushing that boundary. So if at first you're just like, it is inevitable that I will make some money at voiceover. That's a good start, right? It
Mhm.
is inevitable that I will be making money in voiceover is something you just keep on going. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. It is happening right now. It is inevitable. And then you keep on adding the descriptors of how you want that, how you'd like
Yeah,
that.
and as you're right, and as like if you say some money, well, I look at it and I'm like, well, I have made some money in voiceover. Okay, so now I need to heighten it because I
Mm,
need to ask for more. So it's okay to ask for more once you start receiving the stuff you want. I look at my list from 2014 and I've received a lot of that stuff already. So now I'm redoing the list. And
mm,
that's good. That's what you want to be doing. You want to be re-examining the things that you want to manifest in your life because you're going to manifest something and now you can add to it. Um, so that's a great example because just changing the adjective, you're using the same affirmation,
mm,
but you just changed the adjective to get more specific as you go. I love
mm.
that, Tish.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else anyone wants to share? In Yes, good. Anne's going to be booking more consistently.
Yes.
Jimmy.
Hello, thank you very much, Sensei Tish, Sarah, Nice to
Hi,
see you again,
Jimmy.
Todd,
I
and
know.
every other person in the mix. My question is on specificity. How is it okay to have two specific things which which you try your best to manifest? Like, for instance, in my case, I'm thinking about my demos, and I'm also thinking about an agent.
Mhm.
Is it okay to think about those two things simultaneously and create, based on this formula, which you've all discovered through The Secret, and see how it manifests?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can have all the things. You could manifest a trip to Tahiti and an agent and your demos, and then you start taking actions toward, oh, well, actually, you know what will really help manifest an agent is if I have all the tools that an agent will need um to recognize that I'm serious about this and has the tools to start getting, to working as a team to getting me out in the world. So that's a great thing. So then, like, okay, I'm manifesting my demos. So what's in the way of that? Time, money, finding the right people,
Mm.
whatever. So then start going like, okay, well, if I don't have time, how can I adjust my schedule? If I don't have money, how can I know what I want, ask for it, people will give it to me if I want. How can I trust that the money's coming? How much money do I need? If you're specific, like, oh, I'm doing my commercial demo. I'd like to have it by April, and I need $1,500. Order up. I would like to have my demo done by April, and I need $1,500, at least $1,500, right?
Mhm.
Order up. Okay.
Yep.
See what happens. And then envision, just as Kelsey envisioned her partner, um what does it feel like to be working with your agent? How often do you talk to your agent? What kind of projects, what kind of opportunities is your agent getting you? Are you able, how much money are you making with your agent? How often is your agent calling you? How often is your agent sending you out? Envision it with the equivalent of what is the color of their eyes, whatever those details are.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then you can driftwood it too. Like, ooh, who do I know
Yes.
who has an agent that I'm like, ooh, I would love to have that agent.
Like that.
I'd
I
love to be
like that.
working with that person. And then driftwood it. Like, oh, yeah, yeah.
Thank you, Sensei Tish.
And also there's rules and then there's not rules. Like Sarah says, oh, I follow the rules. There's practices. There's practices. If you follow this practice, it see what happens. Is it guaranteed? No. Does it work when you do it? Yes. Is it guaranteed? But there's no like rules like, well, don't do this and do this. And you already have a great manifesting practice. You have a great practice,
Mhm.
Jimmy, in
My
your
Buddhism. Yeah, yeah.
in your Buddhism.
Everything we've discussed here is really reminiscent of Nichiren Buddhism, to be
Mhm.
honest, Sarah. And
Oh, good.
yeah, and also when I first watched the movie The Secret, it was kind of like
Hmm.
we kind of spread it amongst ourselves who were practicing, and we were all about, oh, wait a minute, that's really what we're talking about here. But I got a question for you, Sarah, and I'll keep my mouth shut. Um, on the element of whatever your manifestation not coming as fast as you want it, and then understanding that it's time to pivot to something else. Where's the element of patience in that? Where's the element of
No, I'm just saying if you're not seeing a sign, because the sign isn't your manifestation. The sign means the universe is working for you. It means you need to reevaluate what you're asking for,
okay.
right? So I want financial freedom and abundance. And to me, that means being debt free and owning a home. I
Mhm.
don't own the home yet, but I keep receiving little signs that things are coming. So it doesn't mean I'm being patient because the universe is giving me little signs along the way. But if you're not getting any signs at all, then that's where I don't say give up on it. I say reevaluate what you're asking specifically for, because maybe you're not asking the right question.
Mm-hmm. I
So,
think
and
that,
also,
oh, go ahead.
just know that it works at like you're where you're supposed to be right now. I wanted this stuff when I started my adult career as an actor.
Mhm.
But if I had gotten it then, I wouldn't have the family I have. I probably wouldn't have married my husband. Like, I wouldn't have these two specific kids that are supposed to be mine. You know, like they're you look at the whole of it, and then you're like, you can take a breath
It's
and be
kind of
like, okay,
mystical. Yeah. Yeah.
that's why. And I like with everything going on in LA with the fires, if in LA, I don't know if I know not everyone's in LA, but our news coverage has been very inspiring lately. And you have people that have lost everything and they're still going out and they're helping and they're thankful for the other people helping. And the reason they can do that is because they understand they can't just bury themselves down in the grief and the loss. And it's not that this was what was supposed to happen. Like, I can't explain tragedies like this, but the people like that are able to see the positive and to know that there's still hope out there by being the helper. And so that's where you can look at like getting the specific and not giving up
Yeah.
on things. So I'm never saying give up on what you want to manifest. I'm just
Yeah.
saying
I
change your
got you. I
question.
got you. I got you.
And it
And
also,
also by the sheer law of attraction, those people in LA who are helping others are bound to receive the
Yes.
positive karma for that. So
Yeah.
that, cool. Thank you so much, Sarah.
I think there's also something about how are you allowing yourself to notice what the signs are? Because
Yeah.
if you're all like, I don't see any butterflies,
Yes.
no butterflies, how's that gonna, like, if you're just like not look, but then if you look down and say, oh wow, wait, there's a little butterfly stamp on someone's hand, or like how are
Mhm.
you opening your awareness to be able to notice things and see them, right? That's another way that you can go, like, if you're in a mode of like, I don't see anything and nothing is coming. um, well, first of all, your server at the Universe Cafe will be like, well, hold your horses, honey.
Yeah.
Like, well, that's not going to get me here any faster, right? So yeah, yeah. Good, good, good. Well, it's almost the 90-minute mark. This has been a really powerful morning. Sarah, thank you for putting all of these tools and bringing your fantastic spirit and energy to this. Can you share how people can connect with you and continue on this manifestation journey as well?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very active on Instagram. That's probably the place I'm the most active. I haven't posted a video on YouTube in a bit. I got a little busy
Mhm.
here at the dojo, but the videos up there are if you guys want to like learn more, it's a really great tool, and it's free. And then I believe Kelsey shared both my Instagram and my email here at the dojo, and I'm happy to answer questions for you guys. But thank you all for coming. This is one of my favorite things to talk about, and my husband
Oh,
doesn't want to hear it most of the time, so I love that I got people to share.
manifest a
Oh, oh
less crap.
yes, and I've got the Etsy shop. There are more designs coming. Don't worry, it won't all be in pink. But the bug that I got over the weekend prevented me from uploading more of the products. So be tuning in the next couple weeks.
All right, friends. Well, thank you so much. Look forward to hearing, we'll look forward to connecting with you all, having a chance to hear where you're at this year and where you want to be and how we can support you in that. This happens the third Wednesday of every month. Get to know VO. We have a great one coming up next month with Dojo member Donna Jo Thorndale, who is going to be talking about how to fund your dreams. She's an amazing artist and also specializes in grants and things like that. So we're just going to open our imagination to how could we receive, how could we get things out there. But this is having Ask the Sensei on the first Wednesday and Get to Know V.O on your calendar. We'll keep you in a rhythm of being connected with the dojo, and then we'll sign up for Voiceover Once Over and we'll keep you in the other rhythms. But thank you. Thanks, Kelsey, for keeping everything going. Great to see y'all. And yeah, share what goodness comes from this. Like, let us know when stuff happens.
Yes,
Get some time.
please.
Like, just touch base, email us. So
Thank you very
yeah.
much, everybody. Bye-bye.
Right. Bye, guys.
Thank
Thank you
you.
guys. Appreciate it.